Hello coding enthusiasts, today let's discuss multi-layer Docker. As we all know, Docker is a very powerful tool. However, sometimes after building, the Docker image is very big and it drains out our storage quite fastly. A multi-stage build is a process that allows you to break the steps in building a Docker image into multiple stages. This will help us to cut time and space. Additionally, sometimes there will arise the need for the development and production Docker file. Multi-stage Docker builds come in handy as we can have one single optimized Docker file created for all the environments, whether it's dev, staging, or production. Let's start first with simple React app, building a single stage Docker file for it and comparing it with a multi-stage Docker file. So I have a small React app that is created with the command create React app. I added the Docker file for it. So let's try building the image and name it single staged. After the image finished building, we run the command docker image ls and we can see that our image is 862 megabytes. Let's now turn the Docker file into multiple stage. The rule of thumb is that we will first build the image that contains only the dependencies needed to build the application. Then, after the image has been built, we can add in any additional layers needed to create your application and configure it for deployment. So I changed the first line from node 14 Alpine as base. The run npm install will belong to the base layer. After the base layer, I will add a second layer from Alpine latest, which is just a small Linux image, so we can run basic commands. With this layer, we already get rid of the heavy node runtime. We add the copy command to copy build files from base layer to the final layer. Then just run build image with the name multiple staged. If we run the command to list all the image again, we can see that multiple staged image is only 235 megabytes, which is 3 times smaller than the single staged image. We can also use multi-layer Docker file to create different build environment, such as dev, staging, and production. Let's comment out our current Docker file and add those lines which I already prepared. This is a Docker file that can be used for both development and production. The first is the base layer that will be used by both environment. This is the production layer which will be used when we are in production. And this is the development which can be used when we develop locally. So with this kind of setup you just need to maintain only one Docker file instead of having to have one Docker file for prod and one for dev. Now when it comes to running the Docker file, the command is almost the same, except that you have to tell Docker which environment or target you want to run. I run the dev image with the name dev. So after the image finished building, you can open Docker application and click on the dev image, and you can see that the node env variable here is indeed set to development. So in conclusion, multi-layer Docker is a helpful tool for us to save storage and also to organize our environments.